Hello everyone and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind, the show where I 200 older characters so you don't have to. Today I'll be taking a look at the resurrected version of Halloween Rangiku, one of the very few Rangikus we have in this game, as well as one of the very first seasonal characters. The resurrection feature is supposed to make older characters usable, so let's find out just what they did with Rangiku. Now, as always, I did start off with a normal attack damage build, and while melee characters can be improved by simply increasing their range or their normal attack damage, ranged characters are another story, and this Rangiku has one of the worst normal attack strings in the game. Not only is it an older ranged attack, meaning it does not pierce through enemies, making her significantly slower for clearing events, but it also only consists of 3 attacks, so even if it did pierce through enemies, it would still be on the slow end. Now they did give her adrenaline at 15%, but it's still not enough to make this build fast enough. She can still deal heavy damage, but in this particular case it was only against the Rancars, and that's because I had a killer against them, and the killer was multiplied by 5. Against regular Soul Reaper enemies it took a lot more. Not to mention that because she was so slow, they were easily able to catch up to her and attack, which ordinarily you'd be able to dodge, but this Rangiku doesn't have Sprinter. Instead they gave her Long Stride, which is only really good if it's combined with Sprinter. So yeah, in the end this build is not viable, and it's one of the worst normal attack builds in the game. Now next up we have the strong attack damage / strong attack recharge build. And honestly, compared to the last time I did a rewind on this character, that build did improve, because upon getting resurrected she also gets Frenzy, which she did not have last time. I do wish her secondary link would have been something like a strong attack damage or a strong attack recharge link, but sadly they gave her a damage reduction link, which doesn't really help her much here. Now under a strong attack damage and strong attack recharge build, her strong attacks do deal a good amount of damage. The problem is they have very poor range. She does have Havoc at 10%, but that needed to be much higher in order for this build to be usable. And as I mentioned, the lack of a strong attack recharge link will mean that you can't really spam these as much as you would really want to, or as much as you would need in order for this build to be decent. So yeah, as much as I really like her strong attack 3, this build is also not viable. And finally, I went ahead and skipped the hybrid build. Honestly, I just gave her better links for the strong attack damage and strong attack recharge build. I don't normally do this since not everyone can get a hold of good links, but in this case I figured why not? Might as well see if this character is usable in any way. The normal attacks weren't even good in the normal attack damage build, so why not? And honestly, the new links did help out. I did finish the quest faster, and I noticed a difference in strength. In the end though, this build is also not viable. It may have been faster, but it was still way slower than your average character. Not to mention that she still suffers from not being able to dodge things, which is unfortunate. You have to keep your distance waiting for your strong attacks to recharge, and you have to close in on enemies in order to use them effectively, since they have very poor range. So yeah, this build and this character are just not viable. Honestly, this is a bummer. I was actually rooting for this character. I was hoping Frenzy would be enough to make the difference, but unfortunately it wasn't. I really like the design, and her strong attack 3 is one of my favorite strong attacks in the game. Unfortunately, at this point, there's just no reason to have her other than orbs. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other characters you want to see in a rewind.